I got the sunshine in my eyes, I'm cheesing. I'm not in a hurry, no, but I'm speeding. Can't nobody take me down. Can't nobody take me down. Let the troubles fly away, they gone now. Just me driving to the great beyond now. Can't nobody take me down. Can't nobody take me down. I don't have grudges, I don't want vengeance. I don't have secrets, so you don't have leverage. I don't need a big bank, just enough to get me by. Never will a dollar bill make me feel dignified. I learned everybody's friendly till they taste blood. I learned love hurts much more than hate does. I learned every single high has a come down, but I know how to bounce back soon as I come down. It's hard to get hurt if there's nothing to protect. I would go to war for it, but there's nothing left. Blessing in disguise, I severed all my ties. There's no reason to stay, I guess I'll take a ride. I got the sunshine in my eyes, I'm cheesing. I'm not in a hurry, no, but I'm speeding. Can't nobody take me down. Can't nobody take me down. Let the troubles fly away, they gone now. Just me driving to the great beyond now. Can't nobody take me down. Can't nobody take me down. So many years I wasted, wasn't perfect so I faked it. Looking back at these old photos, I see it in my faces. I could say you tried to change me, but I'm the one who listened. Would've never saw it your way if I had my own vision. I let you be my Novocaine, numb me till I blow my brains. Trying to be perfect for you, figured out there's no such thing. Tighter than your choker chain, living on the shortest leash. You don't ever listen, but I'm the one ignoring me. I don't fear death, I don't feel pain. Used to have to fake a smile, now I got the real thing. Threw away the joys that were tied to my words. Now I'm flying down this road, but I ain't in no hurry. I got the sunshine in my eyes, I'm cheesing. I'm not in a hurry, no, but I'm speeding. Can't nobody take me down. Can't nobody take me down. Let the troubles fly away, they gone now. Just me driving to the great beyond now. Can't nobody take me down. Can't nobody take me down.
And as the music fades out, we fade in. What's going on, guys? Happy Father's Day. Hopefully you guys are either one, spending time with your family, or about to. Maybe some of you guys will be heading out to dinner here soon. What's going on, guys? A couple days missed here. Like I said, no schedule currently, but I do want to stay in the know. Keep up with you guys. Ratish, what's going on, man? Chocolate, what's going on? Atlas, Ruben. Ruben says sips tea. What's the tea? What's the tea? What do I not know about? Atlas, Kite's gonna blow minds. No, nothing you guys haven't heard before. BK, what's going on, man? Thanks for defending me. Mickey, what's going on, man? Let me go ahead and switch it over here. Once again, a boring live stream, no camera. Listen, man, if you guys saw my haircut, you wouldn't want to see me anyways. It doesn't look terrible. I don't look homeless, but I do got the skater hair going on right now. What's going on, guys? How's your guys' day going? So, just starting off here. We got our wish. All right. Like I said, to me, it could have gone either way. I know from the looks of it, a lot of people are excited. And trust me, we're not done yet. We could just be coming back down a little bit, and then maybe we continue bursting to the upside. But my current thoughts are, and once again, I didn't think I had to explain this as thoroughly as possible. Based on the probability of how my rules work, I'm currently probably bearish. Okay? It's not me denying that up is never a possibility. It's not denying that you can have a separate opinion. But just from me doing this over the past couple of years and what I've seen, my probability is to the downside. Okay? And you know who you are if you're listening. All right. I was going to type in chat, but I figured I'd stream today as well. So, but let me see. I'm not going to call out who said it, but he said Kite can't be more wrong about the ETH direction. And I'm just here to say, reiterate, man, it's not about being right or wrong. When I talk in these streams, I always preference it with my opinion and then my rule set. And obviously my rule set will always take over whatever my thought process is. Now, obviously, because I've been doing this so long, do my, opinion and my rule set kind of align most of the time? Yeah, but that's just because I've learned to kind of just calm the opinion part. But, I think last time that we were on here, and I haven't changed any of my drawings, I talked about the fact that we have an A, we have a B, and if we did happen to go back below this resistance here, that would turn into a full and complete ABC. And then once again, I talk about it from a local low perspective. We're looking at the viable support regions for Ethereum, which at the current moment are really only here and here. Now, obviously, we do have the intermediary point here because of the ABC created to the downside. So, this is kind of like an acting support region as well. But in reality, these are our supports. So it's pretty surprising that we didn't get a dump just straight down to there. Fairly close. Once again, this is where having a rule set and how you trade versus your opinion on things. All right. One can save your ass and the other one obviously can be fun. All right. Opinions are fun. Rule sets are how you make your money. All right. Now, if you took a breakout trade and you set up a stop loss below that resistance, and then it didn't work out, so be it. Like, if breakouts are how you trade, that's okay, as long as you're doing it responsibly and you know what you're doing. But in my opinion, just because of the way the structure looked, we had plenty of opportunity to shoot back down to the downside. All right, we had no support buildup along this uptrend. The only viable supports are all the way down here. So if we get rejected, we're going to flop back down. That's just how that works. Not me predicting something in terms of, just calling out numbers. It's right there. It's in the chart. So Bitcoin, Bitcoin's the big one. This is really going to determine whether or not, this is the end. We could keep doing what we've been doing and kind of going sideways for a good bit and then having a good shoot to the upside. But these keep getting thinner and thinner and thinner. You can see this one was a pretty decent consolidation. Huge payoff. This one was a decent consolidation, but very short. And then obviously we had huge uptrend. So usually the triple top is what we see. Could we get a quadruple? Who knows? But my opinion is that this could actually be a decent top for quite a while. Because if we plot it out, once again, it's not me looking at it from a crystal ball perspective. I'm looking at the supports and resistances that are available to us if we were to get rejected. Now, do we have to get rejected? No. If enough money comes in, sure, we just keep pumping to the upside. But what's the reality of that happening? Pretty low. So I'm all here for it if it happens, but the odds of it happening, I just don't see it right now. It just doesn't seem likely. I mean, this is a very, very aggressive uptrend when we kind of look at it from a larger perspective. So it might be time to cool off. All right. So if this is a top, like I said, I'm going to be short from 109. And the way it sits, I'm going to be in that short until probably... Actually, I mean, like, it's pretty good. Pretty much this local low here. You know, this support region in general is where I'd be taking profit if we see it. Now, once again, you know, just really reiterating this. When I say that I'm short from the top here and my take profit is going to be all the way down here, that is not me screaming at you that Bitcoin is going to dump off a cliff and everything's going to go bearish, blah, blah, blah. I hold my trades for the maximum profit. And until the market itself gives me an opportunity to enter at a lower number for a short, or, you know, exit along and then re-enter at a higher price point, I'm looking for the big wins. You know, it's just something that over a long period of time, like, that's what I've learned actually makes me money. You know, if you've read any of Tom Hugard's books, basically, you know, 90% of your trades are going to be like, They're going to be whatevers. Yeah, 5, 10 R&R if you really wanted it. But that 10%, that's where those are like huge additions to your portfolio. But the only way that you get those is by willing to let price action do whatever it's going to do and not judge, not opinionate, not get in its way. Now, obviously, you know, on a long position, if you're up 300% and you want to kind of reset the trade, as long as you do it responsibly, go for it. With shorts, the reason why I'm targeting particularly this local low is it just so happens to line up at 50%. With shorts, you can only ever go from 100 to 0. All right, so in my opinion, around the 50% mark, you're kind of getting diminishing returns. So just taking profit on the trade and then waiting for another opportunity, that's probably your best bet. And obviously, with it lining up with that local low, I'm sure we'll get a bounce around there. So, you know, maybe there'll be a long opportunity down there to take a hedge position. So that's what I'm going for. And obviously, it lines up with the available local low positions. So, you know, let's just kind of run through this scenario. All right, so nobody's surprised if it happens. Because, I mean, this stuff can happen fairly quick. All right, so we have the gigantic A to B to C. Now, you know, if we really wanted to get nitty gritty with it, we have A, we have B, we have C. And then to me, if that is our macro ABC, well, then we are in the ABC completion of the C wave. A, B, and C. All right, so for me, it's an if this and that statement. If we are below the 109 resistance, I am short. And then I will be targeting my macro local lows for possible bounces, and obviously the 50% take profit. So that would be here, 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 and here. Okay, so these levels have been chosen based off of previous local lows. Here, 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 and here. So when I'm calling out numbers, it's not based off of a crystal ball. All right, it's an if this and that statement. It's a staircase. All right, if we get down to 74,000 and Bitcoin cannot steadily hold that support region, I do strongly believe that we are going to swiftly and diligently move to 50K. And if we cannot steadily hold 50K, I do believe that we will swiftly and diligently drop down to 38. And it just works in a staircasing pattern. Now this is, these two ranges right here are kind of the fat ranges. These are where people are going to get scared. Okay. So, I mean, if we see that drop, more than likely we will see the second. But we have between 74 and 52 or 50. And then obviously if we can't hold 38, 39, I do think we could get down to 25. Okay. Now, once again, there's always going to be somebody in the comments or something that's like, that's not possible. We can never do that. I've heard it 1,000 times. You're not original. All right. I understand we all want it to stay at a certain level, but that's just not how the world works. That's not how the market works. The market has to retest certain points in order to confirm the validity and whether or not an asset truly deserves to be a certain price. So if you truly think that Bitcoin deserves to be a higher price point, well, then sometimes we have to come back down and confirm that the lower price points aren't worth staying around. It's just how the market works. So there is a reality where we see 25K. Now, do I think we're going to put in a lower low than like 15K? My opinion says no. But obviously, if that staircase keeps getting closer and closer, like if we break past 25K and now we're sitting on 19K, we're a hop, skip, and a jump away. So at that point, I can't really deny it. But I mean, we're pretty far away now, but I'm open to the possibility. All right. I'm not saying that's impossible. That's the difference. All right. It's just a matter of breaking through these shields to the downside. And the closer we get, the more likely it could get. But right now, I would argue that our probable range, like if this is a top, and I had to guess, this is me opinion, this is me, kind of just what I think. All right, this is not rule set. If we were to top here, I do think that one of the two bottoms would be either 38 or 25. That's my opinion. All right. Now, could it be a very gentle bottom? Pause. And we just land at 50K? Absolutely. Like, 50K from here is a 50% drawback. I do think as Bitcoin progresses, we're going to see more gentle bull runs and we're going to see more gentle bear markets. So it's totally plausible to me that, maybe we land at 38 to 50K and we never see 25. But I don't think 25K is out of the books. It was a very stable support region. So, I mean, in reality, if we do fail 50K, I would say the highest probability is 25K. Because this local low here, although is valid, it's not as significant as 25 or 50. All right, these were like long structures. All right, let me zoom in here. So, I mean, if we had to compare that support region and that support region to this little tiny blip on a map, all right, these two obviously are bigger dogs. All right, I'm not saying that this one can't influence it because we saw how the local low over here played a factor in finding support for the bear market. All right, so I mean, you can see, and I mean, we marked that out in real time. It was not a surprise. We have local low, local low, local low, local low. Those were our local lows of the bull run. And then obviously we draw them out. And these were our options for the bear market. So if we did not hold 29,000, I was target, there was no in between. Okay. That's the difference. All right. When I look at the chart like this, it's an if this and that. And that's what allows me to kind of take advantage of these huge ranges. People see this and they go, well, yeah, like if we can't hold this support, maybe we'll drop down to 23K. No, there is no support at 23K. All right, if we don't hold this support, we're going to the next one. And the next one was at 16. All right, that was a huge range at the time. It was a 50% drop. All right, so if there is no support, it is very hopeful that just randomly we're going to catch wind. All right. So that's the thing. Like, you know, people that, you know, might think, well, yeah, like maybe we could come back down. We don't have any real support in this uptrend. If we get rejected, more than likely we are going to come back very diligently to 74. And if we can't hold 74, more than likely we're going down to 50. So on and so on and so on. Now, we have plenty of support in the actual macro uptrend here. All right. That's the good thing about this. All right. So, I mean, look at this bull market here versus this one here. Which one looks healthier? In my opinion, what we've been doing over the last 2 years by building these supports and taking our time and gathering these regions, it's to enable us to have a less rough time in the bear market whenever it does hit, which we could be at the very start of it right now. I'm talking within the end times of the bear market. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that are very hype right now. But in my opinion, unless we can get above 109 and stay above it, this is the top. All right. And if it's the top for Bitcoin, it's probably the top for pretty much everything else. All right. Now, if we get back above 109K, my opinion changes. That's how my mind works. Okay. I'm not saying it's never possible to be bullish here. Plenty of time to be bullish. There's been plenty of times I was bullish in the past, but that's with the proper structures. That's with building support. That's with leeway to the top. We're hitting resistance. We have very little support. It is very plausible for me to say things might not be on the up and up from here. So don't be surprised. Don't get angry at me. All right, look at the chart. That's all. SPY. SPY has its ABC top. It's actually coming back down to maybe overlap and confirm back over. Kind of sitting at that precipice. So we'll see. So your take profit would be 50% correction of BTC. Wouldn't you be getting diminishing returns? Yeah. That's the whole point why I take profit at 50%. Because, you know, if I aim for 80%, that's a whole lot. But around the 50% mark, that's where it really starts to kick in. So that's why I take my profit at 50%. Now, if we get an opportunity after 20% drop to go ahead and enter another short position and compound and get a better position on the way back down, of course I take it. But a lot of the times with shorts, especially when there is no real support regions, we might not get that opportunity. So just in case for whatever reason we just start plummeting, that's when I'll be taking profit. Like I said, if we get anything in between there that's like of a decent size for me to go ahead and take another short, I'll take it. But until then, I have to assume that it's going to be a fall off a cliff scenario, because oftentimes it is. Litecoin. I mean, I kind of expected that. We actually talked about that last stream, that this might actually just be a to a B to a C on just the A wave, and that this was going to flop over here. I thought it might have come up a little bit further here, but still makes sense to me that it did that. Now, like I said, in my opinion, like it still looks like it wants to go on a run, and that's what's very confusing to me. All right, like I said, I look at things individually, but obviously Bitcoin leads the way. In my opinion, I mean, Litecoin looks like it wants to put in the C wave and retest this high here. But obviously it might not have the opportunity, considering the fact that everything else is kind of bearish at the moment. But if we do happen to get some sort of injection of capital and things can get past their resistances, obviously my opinion changes on the market as a whole. And then obviously I do think that this becomes a likelihood. Let's see. Like I said, with Ethereum, it was quite simple. It was ABC top. Now, if we would have stayed above the resistance, then sure, you know, we could have kept going. But you look at your local highs in the trend here, and I mean, it was hitting resistance there, and so it just didn't look like it was ready to go. Nothing against you, man. Like I said, it's not about me being wrong, because to me, I'm never wrong. I'm just talking about probabilities and possibilities. I'm not objectively saying that something is going to go there and it has to go there. I'm just looking at all the different avenues. Like if we were to break through this resistance, you know, we could start talking about what we would target. And I would probably target somewhere around like if we broke through this resistance here, then probably Ethereum would probably go up to 35 fairly quickly. Because that's our next local high here. Because like if we were to just start tracing the major local highs and local lows within the trend, you can see that that is one of the local highs. Obviously I kind of went for the average there because there's another smaller like medium time frame local high there, but so we would probably land somewhere between there. Or maybe just a average of all three of these peaks, you know? So. Don't get me wrong. There's always an opportunity, but it's just because that we have a bearish ABC that I'm relating it to local lows and what we would see to the downside. But I'm a trend reversal trader, so if I'm going to be plotting out opportunities for price to go up, well, we need to be at the down. Right now, we're at the up, so I'm plotting for opportunities to the downside. You're going to take the position on USDT or inverse perpetual? USDT. I haven't really done inverse perpetual in a long time. If I'm going to do anything like inverse perpetual, I'm just going to play spot. Like I said, in the long term, I'm trying to transition more to spot anyways. One, it helps me with my patience. And two, it kind of limits my opportunities so that, you know, I'm just kind of playing the long haul. Making smart decisions for my sells. Long-term goals for my buys. I don't know why there's... I guess this is the CMEs, so... Yeah, I mean, we could get one more stretch to the upside here. But once again, any pump to the upside right now, to me, all right, once again, like this is just opinion here. is being used for liquidity on sells for the big dogs. All right. Because every time that we approach this resistance, I'm sure there's a bajillion traders that just got fresh off of YouTube that are taking breakout trades, and they are just selling, you know, their inverse into people that are trying to get out of the market. So I mean, you know, like I said, I think, you know, we could maybe go up one more time, but in my opinion, I think it's a fake out. I really do. All right. Now, I mean, it could surprise me. We could just straight up go. But even if we do get another pump, I'm just looking at this as like a short-term ABC. And then it's going to fall back over into the macro. Now, I mean, the good thing is that we would have, you know, a local low here, but I just don't think it's going to help. Can't wait to flex in a few months from now. Told you so. I mean, it's nice when it happens. The only time I ever flex is when someone is like adamantly saying that I'm wrong. Because to me, I take offense because I'm not stating a fact. All right? Facts can be right or wrong. Opinions cannot. All right? So when someone's saying like, you're straight up wrong, that can't happen, and then it happens, of course there's a little bit of gloating involved, but more I more use it as an opportunity to be like, hey, you know, we've all been there. We all have, you know, very strong views on the market, but you can't let that get in the way of, you know, just objective truth. And if you've been playing the market for long enough, you should know that when you can't break through a resistance, what's the other option? Go retest the support. And if the support is very far away, that doesn't matter. You're going to go there. So it's just, it's like clockwork. And to be honest, like, I don't really ever expect it in a non-hyper bull market setting for people to be that way, but I guess it's just the nature of how things are done. And the thing about what I do is usually, most of the time, I'm in the hedge position. So for me, I really don't, it doesn't matter. I just need the chart to move. So if it goes up, it goes up. Now, obviously right now, I'm not in a long position, but I'm sure that it won't be too long before maybe we can get a hedge. Because, I mean, if we do happen to fold back over here. So I believe our original plan was this right here. That was the original drawing. Now, we cut a little bit deeper to each side, but for the most part, we could definitely get that. So if we do happen to complete this ABC and then come back above the A wave here, I will be taking a long trade. So I'll be in a long if this just happens to do that. Now, obviously, my opinion is still to the downside, but if the market gives me an opportunity to take a long position and showing any signs of life, well, who am I to judge? But at this moment in time, I don't see a sign of life. If we can go down a little bit further and still show that we're strong at this top, well then, now I have reason to believe that there could be hope. At this moment in time, it hasn't shown me it. So I can't really say much. And yeah, you are correct. So, I mean, spot is always the hedge. You have your long-term hodl. You have your regular buying and selling. You have liquid, but yeah. So, I mean, people kind of like slam dunk it and they're like, haha, you bear. But at the same time, if it goes up, I still make money. It doesn't matter to me. Now, if you're playing some hyper altcoin and you're leveraged to the tits, well then, yeah, you better hope it goes your direction. But no, we're basically granddads now when it comes to this. Don't have to get all excited and be playing 7 different altcoins at the same time. Those days are done. Yeah, ADA, I mean, like, we do have some signs of life if we can hold some of these supports, but just BTC is really not looking hot. So despite some of these altcoins in kind of like their prime positions, it's hard for me to say that we're gonna do this. Like it really is. Ooh, that is a hot ABC right there. That is prime. That is a prime steak. Now, someone's going to see me plotting out Euro versus USD, and they're going to be like, oh, stupid American. He thinks he's so much better than everybody else. He thinks his currency is going to be worth more than ours. I'm just looking at a chart. All right. I'm just looking at a chart. You could show, this could be the Chuck E. Cheese stock. And I would say the same shit. All right. I would say, yikes, that doesn't look good. This looks like a 2008 chart right now. Yeah, it looks like the euro is about to shit the bed. This is what this means, right? If it's euro versus USD, if this chart goes down, that technically means that the dollar is valued higher and higher the lower it gets, right? I believe so. Do I have that right? I forgot which way it has to be flopped around in order for it to be that way. So I know it's at 1. Yeah, just making sure. So this chart basically right now means that it takes 15% more dollars in order to equal 1 euro. Or do I have that backwards? I don't really mess with currencies that often, but. Hey, Kite, glad to see you. I have an important question for you. What's your important question? Good to see you too, man. The XY looks good as well. Short term, it looks okay. Obviously, we have the macro ABC here, but with us finding, well, we technically haven't found it yet, but we have the ABC here on kind of like the medium macro. So, I mean, if we can reclaim this level and show signs of strength towards this top, we actually might be able to gently move past this and continue like a gradual climb. And obviously, we have the long-standing ABC. We've been kind of coming back out of this pocket here. But we really didn't see what we needed to see. You know, over here we had A to B to C. You know, we had the pump up. We retested previous resistance. We found support. We didn't really see that this time. So maybe we can, maybe we can't. We'll see. I'm waiting, Simran. I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'm ready for your question. And which one of you guys, right, if you're watching right now and you're trying to hack into my coin tracker, all right, which I don't know why that's what you're trying to hack, by the way. All right, there's nothing on there that's going to give you any useful information unless you're the United States government. All right. But stop. All right. Bad. If I find you, I'm going to flick you in the nose. Don't do that. As a macro breakout trader, how would you manage the failures to break out above the all-time high of 108K in December and not get chopped up? Um, 108K in December. I mean, you really can't, right? I mean, all you could really do is hope. Because, I mean, if you're playing it like an if this and that statement, well, then you're looking at it from a perspective of, all right, if we're getting above this resistance, well, then you take your breakout trade. All right, it works out here. You take your breakout trade. Let's see. If you were playing it direct on the line, all right. Now, if you're a macro breakout trader, I'm assuming that you're probably using somewhere like around at least like a 1.5 to 2% stop loss. So, I mean, if you're using a 2% stop loss, you would have entered here. You would have been stopped out here. You would have entered here. You would have been stopped out here. You would have entered here and then stopped out here. So you maybe would have been stopped out 3 to 4 times. So in reality, I don't consider that being chopped up. I mean, you gotta know who you're talking to. This is the guy that can get slapped in the face 7 times on an altcoin and then just nonchalantly continue entering it. All right. If breakout trading is 100% your method, and that's the difference though, you can't flip-flop here. All right. If that is your method, stick to it. Use a decent stop loss if you're playing on the macro level and understand the risks that you're getting into. You know, and you can add a little bit of, you know, your knowledge and be like, hey, we're kind of running out of steam here. We're starting to get a triple top forming. Maybe breakout trading isn't the way to go here. Maybe I might wait a little bit further up in order to get into that trade. Maybe I won't take it directly at the line just to ensure that we're actually moving past the resistance and it's not just kind of like an overshoot. But yeah, besides that, there's not really like much you can do. I wouldn't really call being stopped out 3 times being chopped up, in my opinion. I would say like 5, 6, 7, 8 times that's being chopped up. 2 to 3 times I would say is average. So you just have to look at it as a whole. Like if you're a breakout trader, well then look at your past. All right, look at the uptrend. I've never had that pop up. All right. So I mean, if we're looking at like this right here, you know, you had here, you had here, you had here. I mean, you've been sitting pretty. Like if you were trading breakouts, you had 54%, you had 51%, and you had 44%. Okay. Now, if you would have compounded that, you would have been absolutely golden. So I get it. If you're trying to start trading that method now, you might not see the upside for quite a while. Now you might be able to see that to the downside. You might be able to see that. But obviously, to the downside, we don't quite get as many like real pivot points. So with breakout trading, you would take the breakout, and once again, you have to incorporate being patient. So you don't just take profit just because it went up. You let the market come up, you let the market come down. That way it signifies a very clear resistance that needs to be broken in order to continue this trend. So the next time that you come up to that level, you take your profit. If you get above it, you enter again. Once again, you let the market come down. You let the market come back up. Then you take your profit. And then you repeat. And I mean, over the couple of, months to year, you've gotten 3 massive breakout trades that have worked in their entirety. So breakout trading is still viable. It's just right now, when we're sitting at this level here, I really don't think that that is the move. That's my opinion. But if that is your trading rule set, if that is how you trade, you need to continue. Now, if you have doubts, if you honestly ask yourself, like, do I 100% believe that if I take this trade, it's going to work? Well, then use less risk. Once again, that's not to say that like when I take an ABC trade, I'm like, this trade is going to work. It's just, that's my rule set. And I've done it so many times that I look at the negatives versus the positives, and the positives outweigh it. So therefore, I have no issue entering a trade that, even though like my opinion might say one thing, the rule set could say something different. But I've watched the rule set win that battle every time. So I'd rather just go with the rule set and shut up. Yeah, my opinion is I think we're topping out here. Like I said, if we come down here to 100,000 and we put in that ABC position, I'll take a long. It won't be because I think that we're going to go up, but that's because my rules say to. So we'll see. But with that being said, guys, just wanted to check in with you. Say hi, see how you doing. Say happy Father's Day to anybody out there that is a father, or, let you guys know that you should, if you guys haven't already called them. I appreciate your time today. Like I said, there is no schedule at the moment, but for the most part, if you do want to find me, it's more than likely going to be around 8 p.m. to 7 p.m. EST. Some days I might pop in a little bit earlier if I have some extra time. But, yep, for right now, it's just kind of, I want to keep up with you guys. I'm going to try my best that either every day or every couple days, I'll be here. So, get me while you can, because you never know. All right. I appreciate you guys very much. I'm going to go ahead, sign off. Maybe take a little bit of a nap here, to be honest with you. But, all right, guys. Let's go ahead and find a song for the outro. And I'll see you guys soon. Fairly soon. I like this song a lot. Play this one. Right, guys. I'll see you either tomorrow or the next day. Probably. Bye.
Jungle, you can stumble into America with nothing and make it something, but there is kerosene and masses all around, smoking fire clouds you'll barely see. The light that's
I never had a fortune or a trust fund. Never had a dealer cause I was one. Never changed the fabric I was cut from. Under my rug I was tucking one gun and a bunch of drugs. I got skunked drunk on the 8th of November, thought we were done, son. The night of the election when the Trump won. But never felt a punch I can't get up from. I'm a tough one and I don't judge the ones who never trusted me then. I treated some of my friends like dust in the wind, thinking that I had money to spend, but I'd be stupid and play when I have music to make. Look, you want a piece of the American dream? You better do like the powerful do and barely be seen. Spend 10,000 hours on your hustle degree and make the money disappear like it was nothing to me.
There is a jungle you can stumble into America with nothing and make it something, but there is kerosene and matches all around, smoking fire clouds you'll barely see. The light that's meant to guide
Always had a chip upon my shoulder, the only one who never had the code word. I had to sneak around to the back door where you were skipping rocks. I moved boulders till my back was sore, but I can make $1 out of 15 pennies. Lost souls I've seen many. Pocket change, cha-ching, it gets heavy like a kettle bell. It feel like confetti, like a kiss, kiss, bang. Nothing personal, it's just a business thing. I was on the train saying bye, bye, buddy. Well, you were waiting for whatever Christmas brings. You could kiss this ring. Listen, my lady tells me I got hate in my eyes, but I'm just laying low and taking my time. It's never too late, but y'all drink the Kool-Aid. Chasing a lie, but I just stay in disguise. Come on.
There is a jungle you can stumble into America with nothing and make it something, but there is kerosene and matches all around, smoking fire clouds you'll barely see. The light that's meant to guide you. There is a jungle you can stumble into America with nothing and make it something, but there is kerosene and matches all around, smoking fire clouds you'll barely